Greetings and welcome to Cosmic Kev 100. This episode is for the 4th of April through the 10th of April 2025. And it's your weekly astro video zine, so I take every sign of the zodiac sign by sign, give you a horoscope. Mainly according to your rising sign. Your moon sign works second best. The sun sign, that's about the third best. If that's all you know, it kind of works. I'm a little bit more, if you know me, I'm a little bit more Vedic astrologer, which is more the sidereal zodiac. That's seen astronomically more, so everything's moved back 23, 24 degrees from where it was in 150 AD when the Arab traders and the Western astrologers met each other. So just to get that clarified, but this horoscope is mostly based on Western astrology because that's kind of a common cultural thing that we have here. But I say a little quick prayer, if you do a few ohms with me, a few om gam ganapatiye namaha, it's a prayer to the planets, and then I'm gonna, ask our Divine Savior and Holy Spirit for wisdom as I give you a really great forecast for this week. I'm going to center in, drop in, whether you're focused on your third eye, just like let it drop down to your heart and really think about what's going on there. Om, 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 Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Brahmamir Striparantakare, Banusha Shiva Misato, Buddha Guru Shukra, Shani Rahu Keteva, Sarve Graha Shantikara Bhavantu, Om. Om Hrim Gurave Namaha, Om Hrim Shukraya Namaha, Om Namah Shivaya. And blessed Lord, just bless everyone who's watching this, regardless of their sign, whatever constellations are affecting them in the positive and negative. May they come to know your tenderness, your love, and your intimate knowing of them, and that your desire for them to be compassionate towards themselves and others, may that become preeminent through this forecast, through this week, through their lives. Amen. Ha-ho. Tat-sat. Okay, so here we are. This is, April 4th. We've got ourselves a moon in the constellation of Gemini. Okay, and the place where that moon is a lunar mansion known as Ardra. Ardra is the teardrop, and it's a pretty emotional nakshatra. Air in Vedic astrology deals with connection, emotions. It does have intelligence like Western astrology, but it's more like where we're getting into our feelings and want to find a soulmate. And Gemini is actually the couple in Vedic astrology rather than twins. So it's that male and female that creates all life. Now, Ardra is wholly within the constellation Gemini, and its symbol is a teardrop. It's also the head, and it's ruled by the north node of the moon. It also has some of those Gemini mercurial qualities too. So Mercury gets us in our head a lot. North Node has us in our head in a really kind of shadowy and sometimes in an innovative and super intelligent way. But let's look at, the nakshatras, these 27 lunar mansions that predate the 12 signs of the zodiac. Ardra tends to happen, at least in these times, around when the sun's going from about June 21st through about the 3rd of July or so, something like that, 3rd or 4th of July. And what we see with this is are wanting to have things better, but this also is the monsoon season in subtropical, even some temperate areas and tropical areas. This is where the heavy rain starts. So its rulership is Rudra. It's a guise as Shiva. It's a storm god, and there is an element of getting into the emotion of sadness, but also because of that, we want to heal people. Now, one of the symbols is a gemstone, and what we know about crystals and gems is they kind of take on energy. So people cleanse their crystals, put them in the earth, usually after a full moon, right after when the full moon starts to wane, and then pulls out the energy, and then you can kind of charge it again in salt water or something with total good vibes, and by the next, and take it out before the next full moon, and bada bing, bada boom. It's doing good. So and some people are like, pretty much anti that too, and so I get it. I'm learning. That's what I say. Constantly, this stuff is all about learning, and Ardra, it's got this whole emotional thing, and it kind of shares a partnership almost with the opposite nakshatra, which is Mula nakshatra, ruled by Naritri, the goddess of destruction. And when these two get together, Mula is about the root, and it's about healing people in a lot of ways too, in spite of the devastation. And they just come out and they act out in amazing compassion. So this is, I'd say this Friday, it's about compassionate heart, and then later on this evening we move into Punavarsu, which is the archer taking a shot, and it's 3/4 Gemini, 1/4 Cancer, and it's ruled by Aditi, who's like the goddess of infinity, but it's also about repetitive things, and repeating actions, and best action you can repeat probably is a prayer. And so you got that? We'll go with that. Okay, so anyhow, in Western astrology, we've got a moon in Cancer, and it's going to be it's going to be in Cancer, which is, Western astrology is based on seasons. And so this moon will be in Cancer until Saturday night, 9:34 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And since the moon is waxing right now, it's very fertile. So Friday, Saturday, really great days for planting crops, above ground crops, depending on what your climate's like, what to go. It's still cool enough that, spring crops do well. If you're in a place where you're out of frost danger, you can go ahead and do your squash and tomatoes and cucumbers and whatnot. All right. So, Cancer reminds us of mother, of home, of parenting, of family, of our history, of our lineages. So you can think of that too. All right, we're going to go sign by sign now, beginning with Aries. So we've got Mars in Cancer. We've got Moon in Cancer right now. And so one of these things is like, what are you emotionally agitated about right now? What's really bothering you? And particularly what's bothering you about your family, what's bothering you about your household, where you live, what's bothering you about older people. And in Western society, we're kind of a burn bridges, move forward ahead kind of society in a lot of ways. And we often reject tradition. I mean, we weren't always like this. I think a lot of this happened because of the Babylonian, Egyptian, Greco-Roman, Anglo-Saxon culture that kind of followed the money and turned us into this type of thing, this empire. And we want to just escape that. And how do we get that? It's like having compassion on the people you're mad at and realize that they're just here to teach us. They're reminding us of what we're mad about ourselves. And plus, this is your renewal. This is your birthday. This is your birth season. So I want to give a birthday shout out to my first wife, Julie Light, who's turning 66 on the 7th. And also to former Governor Jerry Brown, who I believe is turning 87. Man, dude, you're getting up there on the 7th. So, yeah, and everyone out there, all my Aries friends having birthdays. I don't know if Ron ever sees this, my old bass player. He's turning 68 on the 9th. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of karma from all these Pisces planets too, Aries. So, really pay attention to your spiritual life. That's the only way you're going to get through this. Now, greetings, Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope. I mean, Aries time is sort of a shadowy, edgier, almost aggravating period for Taurus, where we have kind of a blind side. We're not always seeing everything that's coming to us. And so our best strategies is to go out in the wilderness, have some alone time, and really just feel that peace and nature around us. Have a talk with God, like Stevie Wonder says. When you feel your life's too hard, get on your prayers. Have faith in Hashem. That's Baruch Hashem. That's what in Jewish tradition we say that, and have faith in Jesus. Jesus is Jewish, and a lot of people believe he's a Messiah. He says he's a Messiah. I don't see why not. But it's okay if you don't believe. It's just that he's loving and wants to advocate for you. And so never turn down a blessing. That's what I would say. Never turn down a blessing. And I don't understand everything. And that's all I could say with that, is I don't understand everything, but I want you to have infinite joy, whoever you are, in your life. And, because Mars and the Moon are in your third house. Mars is a karaka for the third house, so it activates stuff. So you could actually get a lot of stuff done this week. But it's like, I think the thing is considering others, because all these grahas are more in your personal life, your personal karma with other people. Your social life's still really active, and you have good friends, and so I wouldn't trip too hard. Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. So Moon's in your second house for Friday, Saturday. Watch your words. I want the best for you. And so that's where we would go, because sometimes our talking and our voice, how our neck feels, how our teeth are feeling, they can relate to the second house. Also, family members, what happened to us in our life between 7 and 14, a lot of that, how we sort of identify, is in that second house. So getting beyond that, also considering others more, it's helpful. You got a lot of work, career pressure right now. And here's the good news. Mercury is going direct. Yay! Early Monday morning. So Monday's going to be, and the Moon's still in that later sidereal part of Cancer. It's in Leo, but, you just have to be careful as you go through Monday. That's all I'll say. It's a moon day. Speaking of moon and moon signs, greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. So, Friday, Saturday, it's all about you. Moon's conjoining your sun, and you're normally kind of friendly, and generally speaking, your mood is good. You're in a good mood. So, good moods are, here's to good moods. I'd rather be in a good mood. I'm doing pretty good. Thank you. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your gifts, your support. Those of you who have gotten readings from me, you can always DM me, and we can arrange something if that's what you want. And I just want to bring out the best qualities, your best gifts, and hope that you know what they are. For Cancer, it's about the workplace. It's about career right now, and what your relationship is with the public, and how do we make this better right now. We're in this thing called, that in Vedic yogis, Vedic astrologers, and Jyotishis, we call this Kalsarpa yoga. And it's like all the grahas, all the planets are on one side. So there's kind of this lopsidedness. And really, this is the time where we have to be open-hearted. We have to be open-minded. Otherwise, we're going to be swept away by this lopsided thinking. One-sided thinking. Oh, the horrors of it all. Haven't we had enough of that in the last 6 months? It's just like, oh my God, well. and there's a lot of kind of this blaming, and then having discriminatory names towards people that didn't vote the way we wanted or whatever, and just like assuming the worst of people. That, I just want to ask you something. Where's that getting you? Is this like uplifting your heart? Are you feeling this connection with the universal mother who loves us all? Are you feeling this divine sense of joy? I want that for you. But we're going to have to, break out of business as usual and try and hang out with good people, because you get influenced by those around you. If your people are like that, and it could be easy to be cranky, this weekend. You don't want to do that. Well, hello, Leo. Welcome your horoscope. Your partnership sign is Pluto now. I mean, in a sense, your partnership sign is Aquarius, but Pluto in Aquarius, especially if you're like a July-born Leo. A lot of changes in the relationship scale. And how do we relate to people? How can we relate to people in a greater way, in a bigger way, in a more loving way? Aries time is a good time. It's like the father, a divine teacher, a good guru. And it's like love takes risk. We have to risk rejection when we love somebody. And maybe we're not always attracted to the best things because we're constantly being manipulated, especially with phones, social media, just computers in general, screens, even television, radio. There's always this subtle influence often on our lives. And getting back to that quiet, that Shravana, that place of, where we're just listening. That's going to help. But you're in a place of good fortune, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's not in your control you wish was different, but if you just give it up to God, you pray about it, say, hey, I want to know your divine truth for me, and give me accepting help for others. Leos are often kind of prideful, and they're like, I'm going to do it all on my own. Really, accept the help, because you're creating good karma for the people that are helping you. Well, hello, Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. Now, in this case, we're looking at somebody who's really into the relationships, and sometimes we're not taking care of ourselves as well as we could, although, Virgo can sometimes be the hypochondriac, and they're really trying to take care of themselves, but that's not the way to take care of yourself. Actually, we stimulate our immune systems when we help other people. So, and you're good at that. And that's going to continue. And there is sort of this romance, and we are in springtime, so that can rev up your libido too, especially for young to middle-aged people. And, it's exciting. It's exciting when people are flirting with you and things like that. But we don't want to lose our grip. And this weekend looks really delightful. It looks social in a lot of ways. I mean, Sunday, definitely more introspective, pay attention to your spiritual life. But by the time we get to Tuesday, you're going to be rocking it, and Tuesday, Wednesday are really powerful days for you with the moon in Virgo. So look forward to that. Hello, Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. And Venus, Venus it's not quite there yet, but it's going to move into your 7th house right after the full moon next week. So it is this thing where we're preparing for the beloved, and women are really good at this because, they put on makeup and what kind of dress should I wear. As males, we don't care about that because our society, the female's not as concerned with our looks as we are concerned with them they want you to be clean, they want you to smell nice, they want you to be well groomed, don't get me wrong, and they prefer that you be in physically good shape. But the other stuff, that's not that important in their mind. They want to see, can you emotionally comfort me? Do I feel good being around you? Are you uplifting others? Do you have friends and opportunities that open doors for new experiences? Those type of things are more important to the female mind and male attraction. So, but you've got a lot of responsibility this weekend, kind of at work. You're learning more spiritual information, which is good. And it's also a time where you could heal your relationship with your father if that was broken. So I would pay attention to that. And you kind of still have to work on health issues a lot. You're a good negotiator. Most everything's kind of groovy and peaceful. So I wouldn't worry too much. By the time we get to, Thursday, Friday, next week, you'll be, and Saturday you'll be, next week, you'll be doing great. Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope. So, Aries is, kind of like Scorpio, but it doesn't have Pluto, or if it was Vedic Scorpio, it doesn't have the south node of the moon. It's like this, and you're fixed water. So, one thing I'd say about both Scorpio and Libra is they're sort of like contradiction signs in that, with Libra, it's a feminine planet, Venus, with a masculine element, air. With Scorpio, it's a feminine element, water, with masculine planets, Mars, Pluto, and K2. K2 acts sometimes like Mars, south node of the moon. Okay, but, in Western astrology, we just go Mars, essentially, and then Pluto, as we found out in the 30s, it existed. And then we thought it didn't, and then it does again. I don't know. That's transformation for you. So let's pay attention to Mars. So this weekend, ninth house, great weekend for travel for you. So I see you going places. And there's sort of this performance energy that comes out Saturday night, especially Sunday, Monday. You're on your game, and staying on your game is good. Aries is about working on health, getting physically stronger. That's what we kind of do. We've been in the winter. We kind of need to move stuff around. Still a lot of fifth house stuff about your children, stuff about your heart, about love affairs, Pisces. So just working on strengthening all those things. And Pluto, it's in the fourth house. So reviving your relationship with family and making it better. Well, hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. I mean, we can see now that all these grahas are more in this introspective place, in the inner celeste. And so, even though you're relatively outspoken, love to, go to games and concerts and have fun, there's this part of you that's like working on your inner life, working on family responsibilities as well. Relationships have been great with Jupiter in the 7th house. This weekend starts out like, not everything's really in your control, but then it gets better. And, some real blessings are going to be showered upon you early this week. Just go with that. Have faith with that. Keep yourself in that internal prayer state. It's like, divine creator, where do you want me to be in all this? That is how we align ourselves. And that can actually be more powerful than just following the planets, because it's like, how can I be aligned during these challenges, and can you bring out my best and my weakness? And so you're doing good. Like I said, a lot of family stuff, a lot of heart issue stuff, children, stuff like that. Okay, Capricorn, I mean, here you are, you're in that kind of introspective space, which is sort of normal for you to begin with. So, Aries rules your 4th house. That's family, mom, dad, older adults, older people in your household. Sometimes fixed assets, needing to sell stuff you have or gain something, buy something that's really important, like real estate or a new car or something. That could happen. And kind of a romantic Friday, Saturday, like, kind of like, ooh, I want to get close to somebody, this could be, it could be lusty, it could be lovely. Abracadabra, what I say I create. That's, with Pluto in the 2nd house. Think about that. It's that I am making progress. I am divinely supported, good affirmations. We're moving to a place where there's a lot of things involving siblings and friends and neighborhood, and it's important to pay some attention to that. Otherwise, I think you're okay. Just, work on what's in front of you and don't project too far. I think Mercury going direct this week is going to help you as well. Well, hello, Aquarius. Nice to see you. This has been a new phase for you because you're getting all these insights. You're getting all these overviews. And some people are still back in 2019, 2020. They've never got out of it. And you can see them. They're, they look like bandits when they come into the store. They still got their mask on and everything. And I mean, I know they want to just be safe and protect themselves. There's some health reasons that can be good with that, but there's also some that can be really damaging. And I would say try not to stay in an echo chamber with your research so that you can understand different points of view. And I think most Aquariuses will want to do that. They want to have different points of view. Or they want to be seen so cool because they're such a rebel and they're not giving in. Fixed air. I know. When we say I know, we don't have humility. And humility, when we don't have humility, we are not approachable, and it makes it more difficult for us to correct our mistakes. Aries is like challenging ourselves. Aries is your third house, and it's like this is where we make improvements. This is where we make friends. This is where we contact our siblings and try and bring out better qualities with each other. This is where we journal. This is where we write. This is where we work with our hands. This is what's coming on. And also with Mercury going direct this week, we can improve our communication, our ability to talk. We can be sweet talkers this week. We can bring in more love. We can bring in spiritual wisdom. We can bring in whatever we need to bring in. And even though it's a more introspective time for you, also the time to get physically fit. Mars and the Moon this weekend, maybe start an exercise regime that's not too hard, but you can keep up with, baby steps. All right, well, greetings Pisces, welcome to your horoscope. You still have the lion's share of planets in your first house, which means you're busy. There's a lot of things pushing your buttons right now. And it's not always easy to know where to go, what to do, how to do it. But I really have this confidence that you're going to do it well. And that you're going to take the time to say a prayer or to write in your journal. This is what I want to accomplish, affirmations. I find like when I write songs, my songs are like prayers. So I try not to write about negative stuff. When I was really young, I would, because I thought I was a badass and, hey, you know what I mean? Fight the power. The power is there. You don't have to fight it. You can work with it. I think the martial art from Japan that came out of jiu-jitsu known as Aikido is really good that way, is that there's sort of this life force in the universe. And you can let hostilities just go by you versus trying to just clash of the titans. And I get that. It's, Aries season, it's the ram, and there is sort of that kind of like, head beating stuff. But, I think what you're learning is to find your voice and to heal relationships with family. And, there's a lot of heart-opening love to be found this weekend in you. And you're also demonstrating more responsibility and being more solid and being more practical, which is, it's kind of a stretch when things are dissolving constantly. But, and just, more mantra, more prayer, more affirmation for what's good with Neptune in the second house now. And I think that's all I have to share this week. You people are wonderful. Thank you for your comments. It was so nice to hear from you again and to hear from Worldsley and Shant and all you others coming in. What a blessing you are. And don't you ever forget that. And yeah, detail message me. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share if you can. I appreciate that. I'm still trying to get 1,000 subscriptions and send out more love with this good information. Om Shanti 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 Om Tat Sat.